Good morning. Again, we are here for another Sunday morning worship. And just from our home, again, this might be, I'm not sure, we haven't gotten, a full decision on, if this will be our last Sunday morning we do together. We may be going back to church next week. We just aren't sure yet. The church is still deciding, what's going to be best for us. But we are here. We are here today, and I'm going to share a little bit with you. We actually are going to do a couple songs that were brought to our attention kind of as requests, things some people might like to hear. And it's always interesting to me how, as we've been praying for, what message to deliver, how do we show you all God's love and what message He wants for us to share. And a lot of times that just comes from us living our life. And this week, Steve and I had some challenges in our week. And the best word that I can find to describe what a lot of those challenges were is interruptions. And interruption, no one loves being interrupted. Whether we're speaking or working on something at work or at home, it happens to all of us. Interruptions can't be avoided, but how we respond to them probably says a lot about our character or, where we are at that time. And this week, Steve and I have not responded very well to interruptions. And if I'm just going to be gut level, there was a particular interruption that happened earlier in the week that thankfully it wasn't long after that, and I had responded not really outwardly, but in my mind and in my heart, I had responded. So no one would have known that I responded poorly except my own self. I knew I responded poorly. And I have a term that I've used, and it is not biblical by any means. It is a Jen-ism, and that's the term God smacked. And I got God smacked, and really all that is the Holy Spirit bringing attention to my sin, quite honestly, my sin. And I'm thankful for that because I was able to quickly check myself and pray and let the Holy Spirit help me correct my heart. And once I did, I was able to move forward in love and take care of the request that was being made. And I'm thankful for that. And I share that with you. I feel like it's important to share that because I think that happens to a lot of us. And the reality of living a life where we are trying to center our life around Christ and is that we still struggle and we still sin, but it's what we do, and it's the fact that we're recognizing it and we try to do better, and we really look at where that sin is and how we can grow and correct it, because our sin hurts us and our sin hurts others, and it breaks that relationship between ourselves and God. And so it is important not to ignore it, not to ignore our weaknesses. It's important to work on them and try to be better. There is a...
Mom.
Yes, honey.
Can you get me an apple?
How about after I'm done? Does that sound good?
And then for the song,
We're going to do some songs in a minute. Okay?
I sing Bible.
That's my Bible. That's right. Okay? Anyway, there's a drive today towards self-importance. And even like right now with the coronavirus, you know, there's terms that are being used in our current events, such as essential and non-essential. And again, you know, how we interpret those terms, and, you know, they're going to have an internal impact to us. And again, we're kind of gauging our importance off those terms right now also. So when I talk about, you know, when I talk about our sin and being convicted, what it really comes down to in the interruptions and that bringing us anger sometimes and frustration is we just are so selfish. We just are so selfish with our gifts, our abilities, our time, and our talents. I actually love to serve. But if I'm really being honest, I love to serve within the boundaries that I'm laying out. And we probably all can kind of relate to that. You know, I love helping people. But I don't love it so much when I haven't planned for it. And I don't love it as much when there was something else I really needed to do. You know, and that's just me being, again, gut level honest. Yeah, and Jody says we like to be in control, and that's exactly the same, but that is just not really the heart of Jesus. That's not what he's called us to do, but it is this contemporary value we have also of me time. And I like me time, don't get me wrong, but I think this focus on me time is really just driving us away from God time. You know, if I'm really honest about when I would usually open my Bible or read or learn or even go to church on Sunday morning, you know, I'm not usually skipping because there's some urgent emergency or something I need to do. It's really because I'm sacrificing God time for me time, for something I want to do. And I feel like we just do ourselves such a disservice when we allow that to take root in our lives, because if we really flip that and put more God time above our me time, I really feel like we'll need less me time, because he gives us what we need in order to serve with emotional endurance. He allows us to serve with joy, love, because now we're serving for the right reasons. We are serving to glorify him and not glorify us. And we have rest. We rest, we sleep in peace when we make those swaps. I truly believe that. I believe it because I've practiced it. I don't always do it great, but I've lived life not doing that, and I've lived life doing that, and I'll tell you what's a lot easier. Life doing that. You know, it doesn't mean the challenges don't come. It's just we're better equipped to go through them. So I'm going to read from Hebrews chapter 4:15. And it kind of lays up from what I felt God was really showing us this week, and into one of the songs that came to me as a request this week. And I just love how God works, because it sure does go together. So we're going to read, again, we're in Hebrews, which is in the New Testament. And if you are not, you know, real familiar with the Bible, the New Testament is Jesus' time. And so in Hebrews chapter 4, again, we're going to go to verse 15. It says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in a time of need." And this is what is so awesome is, we're going to have those God smacks or those times where God's going to have to correct our behavior, our thinking, but he understands, and he does this with love. And in my case, he allowed me to do my corrections in complete privacy. And I didn't even have to share them. I mean, I shared them with my husband because he's my accountability partner, thank God. But I didn't have to share them with you, and I didn't have to share them with anyone else. But I'm able to, and I'm happy to, in hopes that it kind of helps someone else today. So the song that we're gonna do is "In the Garden." So my Aunt Rose asked about this song this week, and this song, just the lyrics are perfect because it talks about finding that time and how beautiful and how wonderful that time is to spend with God and to spend, thanking Jesus for all that he's done for us. So I hope you enjoy this. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the So I'm going to, again, thank my Aunt Rose for recommending that because it worked, I think, perfect with that. Several weeks back, when we first were starting, Barb had asked if we could do the song You Are Mine by David Haas. And I was familiar with it. Steve was not. So we've kind of put this together. And it's, again, kind of new for us doing. But it is beautiful. And again, it just is so fitting for this time where, you know, we are entering into a new phase of some people are going to be able to get out more and they're going to, you know, start coming out of this quarantine or isolation. But, you know, there are a lot of folks that still aren't able to come out. And so they're still going to be shut in a little more. And then there's just the fear of whether we should be getting out or not. You know, but again, it's, you know, I think the important thing is just, you know, pray about it, see what God, you know, is, you know, bringing to you in wisdom. But with this song, You Are Mine, you know, it talks about that we can live in fear, you know, but we don't need to, you know, we don't need to be fearful. We have hope. And it's beautiful because we belong to Him and He's going to take care of us. So, okay, you want to sit up here with me? Okay, I have one more song and then we'll be done, okay? You want to sit with Mom? I will come to you in the silence. I will lift you from all your fear. You will hear my voice. I claim you as my choice. Be still and know I am here. I am hope for all who are hopeless. Do not be afraid, I am with you. I have called you each by name. Come and follow me, I will bring you home. I love you and you are mine. So there is so much comfort just to sing, sing those words, I love you and you are mine. And those are, those are words that God says to us. So I just want to encourage you, we're going to have some more changes and different things coming through the next weeks, but decide, there's probably not been any more time in your life, and maybe not for everybody, but for a lot of people, this quarantine has probably provided more time or more opportunity to open the Word than maybe you've had in a long time. And I just want to encourage you, before we allow life to, slip back into the old ways and of busyness and things, that if there's, if you can find that Bible, dust it off. We use Bible apps a lot too. There's sometimes where I just want that paper in my hands, but the Bible apps are great, and I don't think there's anything wrong with using a Bible on your phone. I really don't. It's the Word. You can use, like on YouVersion, you can pick and look through different versions of the Bible, in different, the way it's written, and you can, see what you like best, and what you feel like you understand well. And, but I just really encourage you to get that out. And, there's a lot of churches too that have been posting services. Pastors have been getting on and doing, live services. And, I really encourage you that when you feel safe, if you don't have a church home, please find one. If there's, this is an opportunity too where you can kind of listen to a lot of different pastors in the area, and you can get a feel for their personality and maybe the personality of the church without even having to walk into their building. And I think that's a great opportunity to, almost interview, churches and what they and the pastors and the teams that's helping, and find a church home. I really do encourage that. So if you have questions, we'd love to help you, and we can direct you. We'd love for you to visit us at Grace and Truth Church in Ireland, Indiana. And you can go to our Facebook site and you can see a message from our pastor, Bruce Sievers, and our children's message also from Tom John. Both of them do a great job. And if for some reason that's not the great fit for you, we would love for you to find someone that just teaches the Bible and that you can feel at home with. So we hope you have a great week, and hopefully we will see you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.